Robyn. This is Restorative and Gentle Yoga for the Hearst Cancer Resource Center. I'm so glad and honored to be here today with you. So let's start just sitting in just any comfortable position. The legs don't have to be crossed in a certain way, but any way that feels good to you. And can you hear me okay? Okay. Good. So it's a little chilly where I'm at today, so I have long sleeves on and socks, and where you're at might be a little bit warmer. But we're gonna just start by sitting up tall, and I like to have my blanket under my sitting bones. And so sometimes when we just sit on the edge of the blanket, it just kind of tilts the pelvis slightly forward, which makes it easier to sit up in a really nice way. And so I'm gonna sit with that blanket just under those sitting bones. It allows the chest to lift lightly with little to no effort. We'll float the head over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And then I'm going to float those palms up and draw those elbows underneath the shoulders. We're going to lightly touch the ring finger to the thumb. And this is an earth mudra, or earth element mudra. In yoga, we call this the Prithvi mudra. Prithvi is one of the words for earth. And it really has to do with the elemental earth, like this idea of being grounded, being stable, supported. And so it is this support underneath us that allows us to rise up, allows us to be upright. So we are supported, we are here on this planet, in this time, in this body. And just start by closing the eyes, relaxing the face, the brow, the temples, the jaw. See if you can lightly close the mouth while keeping the teeth slightly separated, breathing in and out through the nose. Just breathing slowly to begin with. Just breathe in and out. And starting to deepen the breath into the body. Breathing into all of our lungs, top, middle, and bottom, front, sides, and back. And when we breathe out, releasing all of that breath. Breathing in fully, and breathing out fully. And we'll bring the palms together in front of the heart and take a moment to set an intention for our practice, and just noticing what might float to the surface of our awareness to come forward as our intention. Maybe it is something like, I'm grounded, I'm supported. Maybe I'm receiving, I'm allowing, I'm balanced. And just notice. We'll make it into a positive statement, an I am statement. And focus fully on that intention with your next inhalation. Breathe it in. Imagine filling yourself with that intention. And as we exhale, just release any expectation or hope of outcome or attachments. And just let it be with us for our practice. Each time we come back to awareness of our breath, we'll come back to awareness of our intention. And then we'll slowly release the hands back down to the knees or thighs. And we're going to just change the crossing of the legs if they're crossed. If they're stretched out in front of you, just leave them where they're at. We want to just find a little bit of balance in the hips. And we're going to draw those hands all the way up to the top of the thigh where it meets the hip. There's a little crease in there. We're going to press into that top of the thigh. Roll the shoulders up toward the ears, working elbows towards straight, and then back and down. As we breathe in, the shoulders come forward and up. As we breathe out, back and down. So like these really big exaggerated shoulder rolls. Oh, excuse me. Ah. Now we're going to reverse those rolls and go back to front. And before we do that, we're going to flip the hands over. So we're going to press a little bit into the back of the wrist now. So rolling back and up as we breathe in, forward and down as we breathe out. And again, see if you can press a little bit firmly into the back of the wrists. Really lift those shoulders up, working the elbows towards straight. So we're working a little bit into the hips, into the wrists, and to the shoulders. Staying with that slow movement, letting the breath guide. And one more like this. Excuse me, sorry, goodness. When I was in North County yesterday, good, let's just make a light fist around the thumbs and roll. I was in North County yesterday at one of my jobs, and I was noticing the pollen blowing through the air, and I just thought, oh dear, this is not going to be great for my lovely allergies that are happening this year. And then go the other direction as well. Good, and then just lightly shake out, like not onto anyone or anything, or not onto the dog, Deidre, just down to the earth. Let it take it up, and then we're going to inhale, let those arms float out, up over the head. Palms are going to meet, and then we're going to bend the elbows, touch the back of the heart if we can, the front of the heart, and then release and touch down to earth. Doesn't have to be the full palm, just the fingertips if that's what touches. Inhale. Hold the breath gently, back of the heart, front of the heart. Exhale, earth. Good, one more, inhale. Hold the breath, back, front. Exhale, release. And now we're going to inhale again, and I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can kind of see. I'm feeling a little bit more like I want to be seated today, but we might do some other things. Let's inhale, push those arms up. We're going to interlock those fingers. We're going to push the palms up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to bring those hands to the crown of the head and shrug the shoulders down. And inhale. As we push the arms up, the shoulders lift naturally. And as we exhale, hands come down, shoulders come down. Good. Again, inhale. Good. Every inhale, remembering our intention. Exhale, relaxing, releasing anything not in alignment with that intention for us today. Exhale. Good. Let's do a couple more. Find your rhythm of breath. Let that guide your movement. And with this one, as we exhale, we're going to bring those palms to the back of the head, elbows heavy toward the floor without pulling on the neck. As we inhale, we're going to lift the head, look forward, let those elbows come wide. And an exhale, chin toward chest, elbows heavy. Good inhale, lifting the heart, the elbows lift lightly. Exhale, rounding, closing back up. I always think of like different flowers that sort of, bloom with the sun, like they open during the day and close at night. I've always loved that idea. I always think if I was any type of flower, like maybe if I get reincarnated as a flower, yoga, we believe in reincarnation. Maybe I'll be one of those kind of flowers. That seems to be human nature. A lot of us, we bloom with the light. We retreat or soften with the dark. Okay, let's do a couple more here. Stay with that smooth, even breathing. Breathing in fully, breathing out fully. Good, last one. And an exhale, curl it in. And this time we'll just leave the chin on the chest, relax those arms back down in the knees or thighs, and then slowly we'll inhale right ear toward right shoulder. And exhale back to chin toward chest. And inhale left ear toward left shoulder. We're just doing little half rolls. And exhale back to center. Keep going. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Ooh, I just got a nice little crack. And exhale, center. And a couple more each side. If you feel like you really want to go all the way around with your circles, take a slow one around and then take a slow one around the other way. Otherwise, if we've got too much neck tension or any kind of neck injury, we're going to just go to the front body here. I've been super lucky in my life to have a couple of neck things happen, so yay for that. Had a repetitive stress injury, took 3 years to occur, and so many more years to unwind. Good, let's inhale now, stretch out to the sides. And as we exhale, wrap the right arm over the left like you're giving yourself a big hug and maybe reaching for the edges of the shoulder blades. Depending on how your shoulders are built, that might be easier or not. Good, inhale, stretch out again. And you can even take those arms lightly behind you if it feels good. And exhale, go the other direction. Good, inhale. And exhale. Good, one more the other direction. And exhale. Good, we're going to add on a little bit of eagle arms here. So we'll inhale again, stretch it out. And as we exhale, take the right elbow over the left and then maybe backs of the hands come together. Maybe we wrap around. So wherever you naturally kind of stop, allow yourself to find that point. Now as we inhale, we're going to just lightly lift up. And as we exhale, roll the shoulders down. That'll bring the arms back down a little bit. So inhale, fingertips start to lift. And exhale, we roll, we slowly lower. Good, 2 more, find your breath. And after this exhalation, we'll just release and then inhale, stretch it out. And exhale, take the arms the other way now, left on top or opposite arm on top. And just notice if they want to twist up into these eagle arms or maybe backs of the hands together. Maybe if one doesn't go on top easily, we just bring forearms together. So there's lots of different ways to do this. As we inhale, we gently lift those fingertips up. And as we exhale, we roll those shoulders down. This naturally brings those arms back down. And things naturally rise on our inhalation anyways, right? This sense of expansion through the torso, especially if we're breathing into the chest. And as we exhale, as we soften that, things naturally ground down or release. Good. Breathing in fully. Breathing out fully. And 2 more full breaths here. And we're going to slowly release. I'm going to turn to the side so we can see this one. I'm just going to reach those hands behind me. Those palms are kind of separated. I'm just going to roll those shoulders a little bit open. Good. You don't have to turn sideways. I just want you to see what we're doing. And good. And here we're just going to pause, breathing in and out of the heart space. So with the arms in this position, how soft can you get? Like if you've got your blanket behind you or even a bolster, you might rest the hands there and then let this be really easy. So just notice, how soft can I get through my shoulders, even as I'm letting those upper arm bones roll open? How deeply can I breathe in? Breathing into all of the lungs again, breathing into all 4 chambers of the physical heart. Good, and then slowly release. And again, we'll make that gentle fist around the thumb, and then we'll rotate those wrists gently one direction a few times, the other direction a few times. And shake out any kind of last tension, again, toward the earth. I always pat it down into the earth. Thank you for absorbing that for us. Good, I'm going to move my camera a little bit more down. Good. Let's slowly come to hands and knees now. And if you need something under your knees, like notice I'm not using a mat. I never use a mat at home. If I have carpet, I just kind of make that work. For some of us, that doesn't work so great, but here I'll give a little side view. Good. We're just going to rock into a little cow and cat. So as we inhale, let's dip that belly down for cow. Shoulders slide down the back, head looking lightly forward, maybe gently up. And as we exhale, we round this up. We press down into those hands. And we're pressing into the perimeter of the palms and the prints, maybe the tops of the feet. Good. Inhale, rocking, arching into that sway of that cow. And exhale, rounding up to that arched cat. Good. A couple more. Staying with our smooth, even breathing, staying present in this moment, in this body, in this lifetime. And then coming back to center, let's bring our knees a little closer together so they're touching or almost touching. And here, we're just going to take those hips around in some gentle circles. So nice and easy. And just kind of slowly rocking those hips around. You can get the elbows and the shoulders a little involved if that feels good for you, or keep it more in the hips. And if your hips feel a little tight today, we want to go slower and smaller with our circles. If you're feeling a little bit open, like I was out walking for quite a while today for various reasons, and so I'm feeling pretty warm in my hips. And then we're going to go the other direction. And come back to center. Good, I'm going to turn a little bit. Oh, I'll stay this way. This might work better. Good, let's just warm up that core a little bit gently. So as we inhale, we're going to stretch out, right arm, left leg. So opposite arm and leg. Now, if balance feels a little questionable, we're going to hover closer down to the floor or the mat. If we feel pretty strong, we're going to stay about torso height. Remembering to do opposite arm and leg for balance. And then slowly bring it down. Good, and then change sides. Left arm, right leg. Pausing here, staying with our breath. I like to flex through that ankle and press that foot back like I'm pressing on a wall behind me. Kind of engages those quads a little bit. And then slowly bring it down. And we're going to do this with the breath. So as we inhale, we lift out. Think about stretching out from the center more than lifting up and down. And then exhale down. Then inhale, stretch it out, get long. And you can even point the toe here if that feels good for you. Exhale, bring it down. Good. Keep going. A couple more each side. Find your breath. Take your whole inhalation to stretch out, your whole exhalation to come down. And the slower we move, the more we're actually working the core of the body. And those core is not what like a 6-pack or a 4-pack or whatever kind of pack you're getting going. It's really all of the muscles, tendons, ligaments wrapped around the spine. It's more like an apple core than any kind of like muscular definition. Good, now let's inhale and stretch it out. This time we definitely point the toe, reach really far out. And as we exhale, we curl in and try to bring elbow toward knee and give ourselves a little curl, almost like cat. And as we inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, curl it in. Keep going. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, curl it in. One more. Inhale. Exhale, curl it in and bring it down. Ooh, good. We're going to do 4 on the other side. We're going to call this good. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Good. Now, some of us might have a little bit more room to curl in here. And if we do, we'll bring that knee toward nose, nose toward knee very gently. No sense whapping yourself. If that's easy, knee might come to the forehead or even to the hairline. And exhale, curl it in. Good. I can't remember if we've done 4 already, so let's do 1 more. And exhale, bring it in. Ooh, and then come back to hands and knees. Good. Here we're going to take a big breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to sink it back for child's pose. Hips toward heels. Forehead towards your mat. Good. And you can tuck those arms alongside yourself if you like for your child's pose. Good. My blanket is now too much for my practice, so we're going to move you out of the way. Good. I'm just moving my blanket. You don't have to move yours. Mine was at a thick setting that I didn't need. We're going to stay here at child's pose for several breaths. We're going to take this opportunity to slow the breath down, bringing our awareness back to this present moment, bringing it back to our intention. Smooth, even breathing. Finding stillness in the body, allowing calm to take over the thoughts of the mind. Slow the breath down even more. We're going to slowly roll up to seated, and we're just going to shift ourselves back to sitting on the sitting bones. We're going to bend the knees. Good. I'm just going to take off the socks. So if you have a mat, the bare feet will grip the mat better. And so for this, it kind of helps. I'm pretty grounded. Like I said, I don't need a mat really for my practice at home, but I've been practicing a long time and have had a lot of exposure with no mat work. And so there's a style of yoga called shadow yoga, and I did shadow for several years, and we just didn't use mats. We just worked on the hard floor. Boy, and your knees got like used to it somehow. I don't think I could do it now, but when I was a little bit younger. So here, we're gonna just keep those feet about hip distance apart, and they're kind of grounded, so they're a little bit stuck. So notice when I pull my feet toward me, what happens? Like the heart lifts, I push my feet away, we round. So it's a little bit of seated cow and cat. And so we're gonna play with that a little bit. So as we inhale, those feet get pulled toward us. Oh, I'm getting a little cramp today. And as we exhale, we push those feet away, we round. Good, so find this for yourself, hopefully no cramps. Inhale, gently lift, and exhale, round. So this is similar to what we just did on hands and knees. Going back and forth with your breath. Good, and then come back to center. And then we're going to just play with like balancing on those sitting bones and see if those feet will lift up a little bit. And maybe they'll come back down and see if they'll lift up a little bit. And they come back down. So next time they lift up a little bit, see if you can balance here. And we're going to lift those legs to just about parallel to the floor, and then see if those arms want to lift as well. A little bit of Navasana or boat pose. So we're starting to really engage that core of the body here. And then just see, and you can modify by hanging on, you can modify by touching the toes down as needed. So modify as needed, otherwise we're going to stay for a few breaths. Breathing in fully, breathing out fully. Remember your intention here. Oh, it's harder when I'm really concentrating. And just notice all of these muscles, all of these ligaments are wrapping around and holding us upright. Yeah. Good. And then slowly bring it down and see if you can kind of curl up into a little ball. Good. And then from here, we're going to slowly roll down to lying on the back. Oh, yeah. Once we're on the back, we're going to hug those knees in toward the chest. And I like to rock a little forward back and then kind of rock a little side to side, like kind of finding, and then maybe around in some little circles with the knees, finding the edges of the sacrum, rolling out through those attachments. So much is happening with the sacrum, so much attaching and going through and right around that it's nice to give it a little bit of attention. Good, and then we're going to release those feet down. And so I'm going to reach down and I can just touch the edges of my heels. My feet are still about hip distance apart. See, I'm kind of measuring them. I'm like finding my toes and then separating. So here, we're going to just do a little bit of gentle bridging now. As we inhale, we're going to peel up, tailbone, sacrum, low back toward the middle back. Doesn't have to be super high. And as we exhale, we're going to roll all the way back down. Middle spine, low spine, sacrum, tailbone. So as we inhale, we imagine picking up from the tailbone towards the mid or upper back. And as we exhale and roll down, we imagine placing back down from the middle or upper back all the way back down to the tailbone. Now, our spine doesn't really articulate that way, especially once we get to the sacrum. We can imagine it does, and we can help that by really engaging through the core. So I'm hugging my navel in lightly toward my spine. Good, and then again, engaging through the quads. Good, and we can lift our fingertips up towards the ceiling, if you like, to use that pressing of the upper arms down into the earth to help the grounding. So we root to rise. This support that's underneath us enables us to lift up. And as we exhale, the more we can just release into gravity, release into that space of the earth, the more we'll have energy when we try to go again. the next time. Let's do 3 more of these. And if you've got low back stuff, this up and down with the breath is the most therapeutic version of this pose, which is called Setu Bandha or bridge pose. With this exhalation, we'll slowly release. So we'll just let those arms relax. Then we'll just let the knees gently fall one side and then the other side. And if you like, you can turn your head. I like to turn my head opposite, like I'm doing little twists. Knees to the right, head to the left. Knees to the left, head to the right. Just slowly swaying back and forth with each one. And then come back to center, and then slowly roll to your right side, and from there we'll peel ourselves gently up to seated. And I want to do a little bit of rejuvenating yoga, and there's a couple of techniques, and one of them is the alternate nostril breathing, which I think we've done in this class before. We're going to do that one again. But before we do that, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. We're going to do something called Maha Mudra with Maha Bandhas, and that sounds like a lot of wah, 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 right? But what it is this is considered to be yoga for maintaining like long life and lot of vitality. And so here, we're just going to stretch out the right leg and bend the left, and I'm not going to mirror you for this. So try and work with that the best you can. And then with this left leg, it doesn't have to be all the way up to the groin. If your left leg kind of comes here and stops, that's a great spot to be. And it can be anywhere along the leg because we're not pressing into the leg. We're not standing on this leg. We're just connecting. And that's the mudra. The Maha Mudra. Mudras are points of energy. Like at the beginning of class when we did this is a mudra. It's called a seal or a lock. So here we're sealing the energy in the legs. And then we're going to bring the left hand across. So it's opposite hand to leg. And then same one on top. So here we're going to practice 3 what we call bandhas. So before we get started, there's 3 locks that we usually practice. There's the throat lock, which we usually bring chin toward chest. So that's kind of easy. Mula bandha is root lock, which is pulling up the pelvic floor. If you're not familiar with this, you can just kind of squeeze the anus genitals and you'll get this kind of same idea. Eventually you'll realize that you can do that without hard, squeezing too much, but at first just squeeze in and you'll notice that. So we'll be doing those, and then we're doing Uddiyana Bandha, which is called the flying up block, and this is the belly in and up. And if you've never done Uddiyana Bandha, at first, some people get really hollow when they do that. They suck it in and they're like, you can kind of see almost their innards, and you have to be pretty thin for that to happen. But also, if you've never done it before, it'll feel like nothing's really going on. But just think about the navel kind of coming in and up, like almost like a curve. And so that's the flying up part of the Uddiyana Bandha. And so we're just going to play with these just a couple of times. And I'm going to guide us through. It's a very basic exercise. So again, this is the Maha Mudra. I'm making another mudra with this and this. So lots of seals made in the body. Lots of circuits are closed here as we're circulating energy. And just simply sitting like this is great for circulating energy throughout the body. But when we add the bandhas or the locks, we've got the seals, then we're going to add the locks. We actually can preserve and move our energy through us a little bit more efficiently. So here we'll inhale, just staying long through the spine. At the top of that inhalation, we'll gently tuck the chin toward the chest, and this is the throat lock. And then we'll exhale fully. At the end of that exhale, we'll bring in the mula, like squeezing the anus and genitals in and up. So now we've got these bookends, right? Good, another breath here. It might be the hardest thing to breathe in through these locks. And then as we exhale, at the end of that exhale, pull that navel in and up strongly. We're still holding all three. Good, and then release everything, come back to normal. Breathe in and out. Notice, do I feel a little lightheaded? Do I feel a little funky? If you do, go really slowly on the next one. We'll do one more on this side. So big breath in. And then engage the throat lock or Jalandhara Bandha. Exhale fully. Good. Bring in the root lock, squeezing in and up. Good. Holding both of those. Breathe in. Breathe out fully. Good. And pull that belly in and up. Good. Release. Breathe in. Good, and as we breathe out, if your body allows you to, you can gently fold over this leg. And it doesn't have to be a big fold. It can be a little bit of a fold, just a release. It's okay to let the back round here. Good, and then slowly come back up, and we're going to change sides. For now, we're going to take that left leg straight, right leg bent. Good, and again, it doesn't matter where this foot lands along the inside of the leg. We're going to take the opposite hand across, and then the same hand on top. So now we've created that Maha Mudra, that great, Maha means great. So great seal. Just imagining the energy circulating throughout the body. And because we have this seal engaged, that means that we're keeping all of our energy to ourselves. We're not releasing any out of our extremities, our hands, our feet, our crown. Good. Breathe in here. We're going to do the same thing twice more on this side. Good. And then engage the throat lock. So chin lightly toward the chest. Exhale fully. Good. Squeeze in at that root. Inhale here. Good. Exhale fully. We're still engaging both of those locks. At the end of this exhale, pull that belly lightly in and up. Now, if you just ate, you probably want to go really gently on this. Good. Release. Let go of all three. That means the head floats up. And exhale here. Good. Inhale. Last time, engage Jalandhara or throat. Exhale fully. Good. Squeeze that Mula Bandha, that root lock. Good. Hold both of those. Breathe in. Breathe out fully. Pull that Uddiyana in, that belly, gently in and up. Hold all three. Hold, hold. Release. Breathe in. And breathe out. And this time you can allow a little fold, a little movement, a little stretch. Nice. Good. We're going to take a brief relaxation before we come up and we'll do our alternate nostril breathing. And so you can lie flat here. I've got my couch and I like to lay with my legs up on the couch. So I'll kind of just show you why I like to do that. Just because it's super handy. So first of all, it's the right height for me. And so I love this 90 degrees here between torso and thighs. And then we get a 90 degrees between thigh and calf or bottom of the leg. And depending on how wide your couch is, you might even get a 90-degree angle between the foot and there. So you can do this if you have something handy. If not, we're simply just going to lie on the back, super graceful to wiggle into it. Just lie on the back comfortably. And you can use any support. If you need a little something under the head and neck, you can take the lowest possible fold on your blanket that makes you have some comfort. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you can slide that under those knees or thighs. You could lay with the hands on the body or next to the body. Just close the eyes. Just take a moment here to allow yourself to pause and rest fully. Just taking this opportunity to allow the parts of our practice to integrate into all of ourselves. And slowly begin to deepen the breath into the body and start to stretch your energy and awareness from your center towards your extremities, and we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes and Rotate wrists and ankles a little bit. And we'll turn the head gently side to side a couple times. Bring the arms up over the head. Just some long reaches. And then slowly we will roll to our right side and pause there. And then gently peel ourselves up to any comfortable seat. I'm going to bring my blanket back underneath me. And just any comfortable seat now will do. We're going to let the left hand just rest on the knee or thigh. And with the right hand, we're going to take the first and second fingers and fold them in. So that means that the ring and pinky is out and the thumb's out. So it's almost like this, but not. And so the thumb is going to rest on the right nostril and the ring and pinky on the left. So you can kind of play with that, make sure you got your placement good. Good, and then plug the right. We're going to breathe in through the left. Good, we're going to plug both while we hold really briefly. Good, unplug the right and breathe out on the right. Good, inhale through the right. Again, plug while we hold. Good. Open that left side and exhale left. That's one round. Good. Inhale left. Good. Gently plug. Exhale right. Inhale right. Good. Gently plug. Exhale left. That's 2 rounds. Let's do 2 more. Inhale left. Good. Gently hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Gently hold. Exhale left. Good, that's 3. 1 more. Inhale left. Gently hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Gently hold. And exhale left. Good, and then just releasing that right hand and breathing softly through both of the nostrils. And as we do this, this is called Nadi Shodan, or alternate nostril breathing. Some traditions call it Anuloma Viloma, but it's basically the same idea. And it is really about balancing both sides of the brain, both sides of the body, balancing all the parts of ourselves. So it's a great practice to do. It has really good benefits. If you feel dizzy when you do it, you could sit in a chair or even lie down and do that practice if that feels good. And I always start with like 4 rounds, maybe working up toward 10 if it feels good for you. And noticing, like, one nostril's bound to be a little more clogged than the other. One will be a little easier to breathe out of or breathe into. And just noticing that. And as we start to kind of wash the breath through, then it starts to even out a bit more, get a little bit easier. And just taking several deep breaths in and out through the nose. And bringing those palms together in front of the heart. And bringing our awareness back to our intention one more time today. With our next inhalation, filling ourselves with that intention, every part of the body, every cell, fiber, and tissue, every corner of the mind, all the way out into our glowing electromagnetic field. And as we exhale out, to sink deeply within, right to the core of our being at the center of the heart. A big breath in here. And as we exhale, we gently bow the head. Namaste.